welcome back to another video and happy Valentine's Day. I've got my 10-year-old now Valentine's mug. This was one of the gifts on the very first Valentine's Day. But yeah, I just wanted to film a little update on how I plan my beds and how I know how many seeds to sow and all that jazz. So basically, I love an Excel spreadsheet. I do like to scribble notes and drawings and stuff, but once I've done that, I kind of like it to be all organised in an Excel spreadsheet. So this is going to be a bit hard to show. But basically, I have a list of all of my seeds and everything that I wish to sow. To help myself out, I've done each months of the year and put a little X under which dates they can be sown. So I know, for example, Achillea can be sown February, March, April, May, June. It just helps me out and I know what months I can sow what. And then I have, although I have done this in my notebook, I have a little plan of my beds and I've colour coded them all. And I have measured them all so I know what size is what. What I do is I go through and make a list of everything that I want to plant, and I work out the spacing requirements for each of those plants, because you want to make sure that when you go to plant out, you actually plant them out at the correct spacing. Each plant has different requirements, obviously depending on the size of the plant. It's really important that you plant to those spacing requirements, because proper ventilation and air flowing through the plants is really important to plant health, and it stops the build-up of like certain diseases. I know that some plants can get like powdery mildew and prone to all sorts of things. So yeah, it's very important that you follow those spacing. So what I do is I write a list of everything that I want to sow, and I write all the spacing. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I write the spacing required for each plant, and then I allocate it to a bed, and based on the size of that bed, I work out how many seeds I need to sow. So my beds, I have a mixed size because it all just depended on the size of the weed membrane that I had at the time. Some was 2 meters wide, some was 1 meter wide, so it's just a bit of a jumble. But some of my beds are 2 meters wide and some are 1 meter wide. The majority of them are 10 meters long, but some of them are 12 meters long. There's a really good tool that I use online that works out how many in total you can get in a bed. So, for example, I would just use this one example. In my 2 by 10 meter bed, that's 20 meters squared in total, 4 snapdragons, I plant them at 9 inches apart because that's the recommended spacing requirement for them. I know some people plant them a bit closer to try and squeeze more in a bed, but I'm at early days. I'm just going to follow instructions for now. So in my 20 meter square bed, I know that 9 inches apart, I can fit 396 snapdragons in there. And in the 1 by 12 meter bed, so 12 meters squared, I can get, at 9 inch spacing, I can get 265 snapdragons in there. And obviously other plants, for example, like your Ami, Magus and stuff, needs 12 inch spacing. So in my 1 by 12 meter, I can plant 160 seeds, so it's a lot less. So yeah, I just go by that. So I make a list of everything I want to sow, allocate it to a bed, and depending on the size of the bed, and obviously I've split my beds so that I can squeeze more in there, because I don't want a whole entire 12 meter long bed of snapdragons, say. I might only want 5 meters. So a lot of my 10 meter beds I've split into 5 meters. So it just gives me extra bed space, and then I can sow more seeds, because your girl's got a lot of seeds. Ouch, got a splinter. This is my seed basket of all of my tins of all of my seeds. So yeah, the more I split my beds up, the more seeds I could sow, basically. But yeah, that's just kind of how I've been doing it, and how I kind of get my head around how I know what I'm sowing and how much, etc. I think it's good to kind of plan a little bit, because otherwise you end up sowing all this stuff and not having the space for it. or not sewing enough and you want to utilise all of your bed space. Please let me know if there's anything that you think would help me. I am still new to all of this. I've not had much experience. I'm just kind of going with what works for now. So any tips and tricks I will be super grateful for. Also, I'm going to share what I'm sewing in a few videos time. I started my siege yesterday, which is so exciting. I've got a lot of stuff that I want to share coming up, so stay tuned and I will hope to see you soon. Thank you.